Hey everybody, my name is Sandy and I am 58 years old. I teach yoga and face yoga and I sell what I think is the world's best makeup for mature skin. And today I'm going to put my makeup on and I'm going to focus on tips to do for your eyes if you have mature skin. First thing I'm noticing, and by the way, I don't have a ring light on, I have no artificial light in here. I'm noticing that my right brow is a little bit lower than my left, and that happens. This one always wants to droop down, so I'm gonna lift it with a little face yoga. I'm gonna place my hands up here since I just want to do this one side, and I'm sort of gonna frown, so I'm pulling down with my muscle and holding that. I'm gonna do that a couple of times, and then already that's evened out a little bit. Face yoga is amazing. I love it. So anyway, back to makeup for eyes. So this is what I do. The first thing I do is I put a primer on my eyes, and I don't have a special primer. I've tried many, but my very favorite is actually one of the contours from my Saint palette, and that's Aspen. It's our lightest contour. And I think I'm gonna put this whole thing on YouTube, but I'll have to break it up into 1-minute pieces, I suppose, for Instagram. TikTok will give me 3 minutes. So I just put that on my eyes all the way up to the brow and a little bit underneath. And this just grabs onto shadow. It makes it last longer. The texture is perfect for an eye primer. And it also neutralizes any red or purple that you might have in your eyelids. So that's what I do to start. And I always put my eye makeup on before the rest of my makeup. That way, if I make a mess or I get anything on my cheeks, it's not messing up my makeup. And I like to coordinate my makeup with what I'm wearing. And I'm gonna use this color this is my Saint eyeshadow palette. And I'm using this color called Atlantic. And it looks really bright here, but it's very subtle on. And for a shimmer, I like to just press my finger into it, tap it on the lids. And I'm putting this shimmer all over my lid. And a lot of people think you cannot use shimmer when you're over 50, but it's not true. You just have to be a little judicious. You can't put it everywhere, or it might highlight your wrinkles, but if it makes you happy, wear it. So I just put it on my lid. And then I have deep set eyes, and I'm older. As we age, our eyes can sort of seem to recede back into our head and become even deeper set. So I don't want to darken that crease like I used to do when I was younger. I'm just gonna put that darker color in the corner of my eye, the outer corner. And I like to use a matte shade for that. I think it works better. And I'm gonna use this sort of purpley color right here called London. It's sort of a purpley gray. And if you're not really good at eyeshadow, and I'm not really, I'm kind of messy, I just kind of dot it on in that sort of sideways V. Just dot, dot, dot. And I'm staying in the outer corner. Oh, somebody's walking by my house. And then blend. I'm gonna flip this over because it's gonna blend a little bit faster. And I'm gonna put a little bit of this shadow underneath, and I'm only going about halfway to my pupil. I don't really put heavy eyeliner on underneath anymore. It just creates a shadow and can look too harsh. I will put eyeliner on the very outer corner. And if you want a little more drama, you just add a little more shadow, but I'm still keeping it in the outer corner. So I'm using the amount of makeup that I really wear in the daytime. I'm not putting extra on for the camera, so I hope you can see it. Sometimes I think it gets a little bit scary when we watch makeup videos because, you know, you really do have to use extra to, you know, get your point across, but sometimes that's a bit intimidating. Hopefully this isn't scary for you. So I just have two colors, my shimmer on my lid and then a matte in the outer corner. And I'm going to use eyeliner. This is called Empire from Urban Decay 24/7. I'm down to the nub. I love it. Once you put it on, you get about a minute or so to play with it, and then it stays the rest of the day. It doesn't budge. And again, if you're not so good at drawing a line, just sort of dot it on, and then you can smudge it in with a brush. And I'm mostly keeping this to my top lid. And I extend just a bit. I don't do cat eye, I just extend a bit. And I like to put a little extra right in the middle over my pupil, just to kind of create a little pop there. And one tip, when you're doing your eye makeup, it really works better to keep your eyes open so you can see how it looks when your eyes are open. And I will put just the tiniest bit in the outer corner just to sort of connect that. I'm going back in with my eyeshadow brush to smudge it. I'm going to put my mascara on last because sometimes, you know, your makeup will get on it and it won't be as dramatic. All right, so here's what I like to do for makeup around the eyes. So this area, the orbicularis, oculi, can seem to become more hollowed out as we get older. Like I said, same thing with the upper lids. Our eyes can sort of seem to go deeper into our head. I have a really great face yoga exercise on my face yoga video that will help with those hollows and firm up the muscles so it's not so hollow. We also can do things with makeup to make that look better. So for my foundation, I like to use two colors. I have my main foundation color and then a lighter color, which is a brightening shade or a concealer. And when you were younger, you probably put a big light triangle under your eye or maybe a half moon kind of thing. And that doesn't always work now that we're older. So what I like to do is I put my main foundation shade all the way up to here and I cover that bone with that main shade. So we'll do that right now. And this is again from my Saint palette. It's a little bit messy. It's well used using my, it's called a powder brush, but it's made for cream. And I'm just dipping that into my foundation shade and I'm gonna dot it around. And I'm using one that's a little darker than my skin because it's summertime and I want to look like I have a bit of sun. So right on that bone. I'm not really taking it underneath my eye. And if you have really dark circles, we have great color correctors for that you can put on under your eye area. I think mine will just be taken care of with the regular makeup. And some of my face yoga exercises are really great for dark circles because a lot of times it's just a lack of circulation to the skin. There's so much you can do to make your skin look better in a natural way. You don't have to resort to surgery and invasive procedures if you don't want to. I have my regular foundation all the way up to here. It's right on that bone. And that helps already with that difference between the space that's way back here and my cheekbones, which are up here, okay? And now I'm gonna go ahead and put my bronzer on too. And I'll show you why. So I'm using tan lines. I really like this color bronzer. And first I'll just dot it on. So bronzer is like the number 3. And I just dot it on and I pat. And you'll notice as we go on the cheekbone, a little bit of that bronzer is going up close to the eye. And that's going to give me a little coverage so that I don't need so much concealer there. And that just warms up my face. You can see from the other side. So do it here. You can see I have some melasma there, and honestly most times I don't spend any extra time trying to cover it up. I'm used to it. Doesn't bother me. All right, so I have my bronzer on, and then that means I need a little less concealer under the eye. Now when it comes time to concealer, or what Saint calls the brightening shade, I'm going to go into my lighter color, and this is White Peach. I'm dipping this in, and I'm just going to put it on the inner corner and go down the side of my nose, about halfway down. And then some dots on the outer corner. And I don't need too much on the outer corner because I have some bronzer there giving me coverage. So same thing. Don't forget this part inside here where a lot of us are just kind of blue or dark there. And then blend that in. And I'm just patting, patting, patting. This is also nice if you have made a little bit of a mess with your eyeshadow. This will clean that up. So you can just go up in a nice upward motion here. As I am patting, a little bit will get blended onto the under eye area, but there's very little product there, so there's not much to get creased and crinkled. And now what I like to do is make sure no makeup is staying in my lines. So when I have used all other makeups, even other creams, that makeup just keeps pulling in my lines all day long and drives me crazy. So what I love about the Saint makeup is it really doesn't set like that, and I go over my face with a slightly damp sponge. You can dampen it with water. I used Hangover Rx 3-in-1, just very hydrating. It's a stay spray. There are better sprays that make your makeup stay longer, but this is very hydrating. A lot of stay sprays dry me out, so I use this. So this is very slightly damp. There's, you can't wring out any water. It's barely damp. And I'm gonna roll that over the places where I had lines, and especially around the eyes. And look in a magnifying mirror, especially if you need reading glasses. Make sure you see what's in there. And I'm lifting my skin so I can get into the wrinkles. And what I do is, it works for pores too. What I do is I go over my whole face twice, and I never have to worry about it again. It will not crease or pull into my lines anymore. It's marvelous. Now I'm gonna do mascara. I'm using Thrive. I love tubing mascara because it does not smear. I never get raccoon eyes, and it comes off with water. So I don't need extra eye makeup remover. I do need a little dot of oil for that eyeliner that I have to get it off. Also, on my bottom lashes, I only do the outer corner because it casts a shadow under my eyes if I have a lot of mascara under there. And you might watch those false eyelashes. If you have really long lashes, I've seen that create some pretty dark shadows. Next, eyebrows. And just look at that. I don't have a ring light. I have no artificial light, but putting my makeup on this way, the darker color right on the bone and the lighter color only on the inner and outer corners really helps smooth out that under eye area. Eyebrows. I love this eyebrow brush. This is from Saint. And we have Eyebrow Wax in our palette. And it's really hard, so I need to spray some of this spray. It could also be water on the back of my hand. I roll my brush in it, and then I roll the brush into the wax. So you have to just have something a little bit damp to activate it. And then I just brush it through my brows. If your brows don't move that much, you can skip this step. Then with the other end, I'm dipping it into my contour color, which I'll show you in a bit. And I'm using this cream contour for my eyebrows, and I love it. It's super fast. It stays all day. I don't have any problem with it disappearing. So just kind of fill in and use the brush. And I pretty much stick to my natural brow shape. I know big brows are in, but I don't have them. I never did. So I just stick to my natural brow shape. I've tried in the past to draw them in bigger, but it just doesn't really work because it's not natural. It doesn't really go with my face shape, and then I kind of have a makeup mess. Things just tend to work out better if you stick to whatever your natural features are. I think it's really ridiculous to have features that are in style or not. Like, you know, what size lips or brows you have. Everybody should be allowed to celebrate their faces exactly the way that they are. It's probably just a money-making scheme from cosmetic surgeons. And I just made a mistake, but look how easy you can get rid of that. Okay, so there's my brows. Makes a big difference. And that contour color I use is called Ash. And I'll show you what I do with the contour otherwise. I use my fingers, and I just use this to sharpen up my features in a fast, easy, natural way. It's not scary. So this is the color. Looks very dark here. I'm just gonna pat my finger in there, make a fish face, and I'm going right in the crease under my cheekbone, because this is gonna make that area recede into the shadows more. It's already in shadow, but it's gonna recede more. Do one side at a time. So you can see, it makes me look like I have a more dramatic cheekbone. I'm gonna put it under my jawline, just to make that look sharper. And when I use my fingers, I can blend it in as I'm doing it. So I like that. I used to use a brush, but I really kind of like fingers better. I might use a brush on my forehead. If you want to make your forehead look shorter, you can just do a little line up there in the hairline. I'm going to use that same brush and blend it up into the hairline. Definitely don't want to have any sharp lines showing here. So this same cream contour contoured my face, and I used it for my brows. If you want to slim your nose, you can put a lighter color down the center, right on the bridge. And then I'm dipping my two fingers into that contour, rub them together, draw a line down the middle, and then blend that in. You can also put that around the tip if you want to narrow the tip of your nose. And now I'll contour the other side. So a little fish face. Your fingers are great because they can really feel the exact place to put it. I'm going basically from the top of my ear to about here, the outer corner of my eye. You can put as little or as much as you like. Blend the outer edge. When I add my blush, it will help blend the top. So I'm going to use a little pink called Hollywood, and I'm just putting that in the upper part of my cheekbone. I'm not going out to here. If you have a round face and you have good apples on your cheekbones, go ahead and put it on your apples, even if you're older. Everybody's face is a little bit different, so you have to kind of play around, find out what works for you. I like to put a little bit in my temples because I'm pretty pale and I need a little color. And I'm just patting, and that just kind of helps blend it. I'm going to add a bit of Illuminator. Illuminator is a cream highlighter. There's a little bit of shimmer. It's very subtle. I'm using Angel, and that's the very top of my cheekbone. I also like it right here, outside my brow, Cupid's bow, and then just make sure everything's blended. And last but not least, lips. I like to use that brow wax. on the outside of my lips. I used to always use a brow wax pencil for this, but now that it's in my palette, it's so convenient. I love having everything I need in one palette. This keeps my lipstick, lip gloss, whatever I put on my lips from migrating into those little fine lines up there. I'm going to blend two colors here. I'm going to use a warm color called Sandstone, and I just can't stop using this in the summertime. And you can use your fingers, but I really like a neat lip, so I like the brush. And just to go with the rest of my makeup and my dress, I'm going to add some pink. So I'm going to add a pink gloss called La Cienega. I'm done. So I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. So remember, for your eyes, if your eyes are becoming deep set, if you're getting more hollows, do face yoga, number one. Number two, little shimmer on the lid, little mid-tone matte in the outer corner. Keep your liner on the top line, maybe just barely in the outer corner so that you're not creating more of a shadow under the eye. Your normal foundation color all the way up to the bone, on top of that bone, and then the brightening color or concealer, inner corner and a little bit down the nose, outer corner, and that's it. And we do have dark circles. We have color correctors that will help you. Let me know if you have any questions. I love this makeup. I love what face yoga has done for me, and I want to tell everybody about it. You really don't have to spend a ton of money to look and feel your best. And I also feel like we should embrace our aging selves. We're aging whether we like it or not. If you look at any 90-year-olds, most of them have a pretty fair amount of wrinkles, even if they've had plastic surgery. No one's going to mistake you for a 20-year-old when you're 90. So embrace it. It is not shameful to age and to get wrinkles and lines and saggy skin. So I'm all for doing whatever we can do to look our best, but don't battle yourself. Don't hate yourself. Love yourself. You've been through a lot, and you deserve respect and love. Beauty is not just for the young and the smooth skin. Beauty comes from the inside. It radiates out. All right, that's my spiel for today. Have a great day. Bye-bye.